Good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. And tonight we're talking about, I've already been talking to these people for like 10 minutes on before you guys got here. So I get all the good stuff. It's my job. And I think you're going to really like this because it's pretty darn fun. And, the Boy Scouts of America has always been, had a little bit of branding problem if you have females involved because it's called the Boy Scouts of America. Well, they've changed that to the Scouts BSA because there's a bunch of females involved in this program. And you guys are going to be really impressed to meet some of these folks who are going to come on here tonight. I don't know if I have a Hannah. Is Hannah supposed to be on here too? I see somebody on here. And, oh, there's Hannah. Now, hold on. Let me get your mic. This is kind of fun. She got here a little bit late. We're going to bring everybody else in here. And then, Hannah, your microphone is not on, so I'm going to ask you to – there, now it is. Okay, so you can hear me, Hannah? Okay, good. So we got another one. So, you guys, we have a full pack of women tonight. This is Mia, and we've got Lucy, and we've got another pair right here. And then we've got Savannah. And then we've got Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
So, oh my gosh, we've been talking before you got here, Hannah. So you're going to have to catch up. Do me a little favor. Would you get your get a little less headroom over your head? Okay. Yeah, I can see it. Perfect. Okay. So you know what? Mia, let's start with you. Talk to me. The Boy Scouts of America are now Scouts BSA. 3 years ago is when you actually started having programs, specifically scout programs, specifically targeted towards girls.
Right. So my son has been involved in Scouts for a long time, since he was a first grader. And his two little sisters just came along and did everything with him because Cub Scouts was very family oriented. But then he transitioned to Boy Scouts, and girls aren't really allowed to, little sisters are not really invited to come anymore. So they had to just stop coming, which they were sad about. But a couple years later, Boy Scouts changed their name to Scouts BSA and started allowing girls to join. So at that point, my fourth grade daughter was excited about joining. So I went back to the same pack that I was involved in with my son and asked if they would be willing to have girls. And I recruited a few of her friends to join with her. So she had 3 of her best friends, and it was an amazing 2 years. She earned all the awards she could. She got her Arrow of Light, and she crossed over into Scouts BSA. So now she's a full-blown scout and earning some ranks in that organization, which is really fun.
So Nathan, I want to answer. I'll let them answer your question. Nathan says boys need to stay in Boy Scouts and girls need to stay in Girl Scouts. I can say this: they're 2 separate organizations. Go ahead. I know. Yeah.
My question is why? Why do you think they need to stay in one and the other? Boy Scouts has been co-ed since at least the 70s. It's not like we are camping together. It's not like Billy and Susie are in the same tent. We are still we are co-ed but separate. We are together but separate.
Do you think of young Christian men when you think of the YMCA, or do you think of an awesome program that's inclusive to everybody? You know, the YMCA started out as Young Men's Christian Association, but over time it changed, and for everybody for the better. I think that's what Scouts BSA is following suit with too.
Now, and you were a Girl Scout.
I was.
So kind of explain your story like that, because I think it's really interesting and it shows that crossover.
I was the oldest. I am the oldest of 4 girls. My mom used to work for the Girl Scout Council here locally. And growing up, that's all I knew. That's all we had. That was our only option. And it wasn't really something that interested me as I got older. And now I have a son. He is 12. And so I was involved with Boy Scouts. My husband is an Eagle Scout. And I like the Boy Scout program because it gives the opportunity to be more outdoorsy and not say rugged, because that's the wrong word, but we're focused on overall skills as a whole to make you a better, more rounded individual in life. But both programs are perfectly acceptable, and they are both great programs. They just have different things to offer, depending on what the girl wants to do, what the person wants to do.
And Nathan's a great guy, Nathan. I want to explain to you. See, They're two totally different programs. So the Scouts BSA is more adventurous. You're doing projects, you're doing things like that, really, and it's focused on the life skills, honesty, that kind of thing. Girl Scouts is a different kind of program. So for a gutsy woman like Lucy up here in the top, who has been part of, tell them what you God, tell them what you do. Everybody, gentlemen, I'm warning you, you don't want to compete against this girl. So what are you? You're part of the adventure program.
Right, I'm part of Adventure Crew, Crew 2141. Wrong sleeve, sorry. Yeah, so I'm part of Crew 2141, and same with Savannah, and I've been part of this crew for about 4 years now. And, we really like just getting outdoors and like trying completely different things. Our leader, Amy, a large part of what she teaches us is to like lead for ourselves. So for venturing, it is a incredibly and like pretty much totally youth-led organization. So whatever we want to do, we can make that happen. So in the past, we have done a 4 or 5 day long trip down the Willamette River Trail. And in the future, we're planning on going to Belize for about 10 days.
And so you've been around, the venture program has been around for like 23 years or something.
Yeah.
So Savannah, you're in the venture program. So what do you get? Besides you have really cool hair, what do you get out of this program? What does it do for you?
It has really helped me be, so I've become a better like person in general and also a better leader. Because venturing is a lot about leadership. It focuses heavily on leadership and improving those skills and improving skills around it. And like doing it, I've been in crew for a little over 2 years, and I have grown so much. Well, just the 2 years that I've been in it, and I have any other.
So
I see a question here from Lily. It says, to what extent has girls being involved in Scouts caused a paradigm shift among scouting? I really haven't seen any shift being involved with my son for so many years. It's just the exact same program, tying the same knots and doing this, figuring out directions on a compass. It's the same.
The requirements haven't changed. They didn't make it easier because girls showed up. Like, it's the Eagle, a girl who earns Eagle today, it's the same requirements as the boys who earn Eagle today. It's not that like, oh, you're a girl, so you don't have to do the 15-mile hike badge or whatever it was. You still have to hike 15 miles in order to get your Eagle. It's not changed. It hasn't made easier because we have girls.
So Scott brings up, he's with the BSA. It's actually not co-ed for people out there. It's not a co-ed program. It's a female troops and male troops. Now the venture program, that is co-ed. The one Lucy and Savannah were talking about, that is co-ed, but they are separate programs, but they're doing the same kind of difficulty. They didn't dumb it down for the girls. And I hate to use that word, but I think that's what people expect. And I think that's why you scouts, you female scouts want to do this, because you don't want it dumbed down. You're not little girls being scouts. You are women participating in a program that challenges you and changes your world.
Yeah, so, it's really funny. I have the old Boy Scout handbook for my son, and it's, it's like 400 pages long. And the handbook for my daughter, every word and every bubble and everything is the same on every single page. The only thing that's different is the pictures of the kids doing the activities. In the girl one, it has pictures of girls, and in the boy one, it has pictures of boys. But every word down to the letter is the exact same.
So Richard Nelson says, had venture crew girls in my troop when I was a kid, and they were badass. So Lucy, tell them how badass you really are.
So it's been a wee while since we've actually participated in any sort of like camporee or scout competition type events. However, it was a few years ago we had competed and we had won the event 2 years in a row. And so we then decided to go on and plan and organize the event. But the issue was that none of the Boy Scout troops would sign up until we said that our crew wasn't competing.
That's awesome. I
Being able-
remember that year when you guys. I remember those years when you guys won. You did awesome.
So Richard, that's how bad it's become for us boys. So Hannah, now who in the world are you? We didn't get to talk before we started the show, so you're like fresh. You just get to tell me how you're involved and everything. Okay.
Okay. Well, I joined in February when we first could and I joined a troop. Our troop is 585. We are joined with my brother's troop, Troop 114. We are a different troop, but we do things together. We go on camping trips, but we also do activities separate. We actually just went skiing last Saturday, cross-country skiing across the lake. And my story is when my brother was in Scouts, I always just would tag along sometimes because I was in Girl Scouts, but there's more opportunities in Scouts BSA. So I tag along on some activities, go up to the snow with them. And I was so excited when they said they'll be letting in girls because I wanted to be in Scouts. I wanted to do the outdoors skills. I wanted to go on the Cope course at Camp Baker, a 40-foot high adventure course, go on the zip line.
What's wrong with you?
My older sister used to run that course, and it just sounded so much fun. She was an adventurer. She was also in Girl Scouts. I was in Girl Scouts. And she earned her gold award, but she always wanted to earn her Eagle award, but she never could because she was too old to join.
So Hannah, what is the best thing about you?
My outdoor skills, I guess. I could survive if I got lost. I can navigate my way, and yeah.
So if I was on a camping trip somewhere out in the wilderness, I'd want you at least like close enough that my cell phone could call you to help me, right?
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't embarrass me when you came and saved my life, right?
Yeah.
We'd never talk about it publicly. I can get you to sign a piece of paper that says that. Is that okay?
Sure.
So Jim says, what Scouts BSA now does is give youth the choice to be in a co-ed group or not.
It actually doesn't. So venture crews can be co-ed, but Scouts BSA, the traditional scouting program, is either a girl troop or a boy troop.
Yeah.
He says it should be the youth's choice, but what you're trying to do is make sure that the kids everything's kosher. And
I think that boys should stay with boys and girls should stay with girls, because when you're doing all the requirements, you're learning so much about yourself, and sometimes it's a vulnerable thing to do. And when you have the opposite gender around, you get hormones involved, and I think it's a much better experience to just be with single gender while you're going through these requirements.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I actually want to bold Tina had a question about kids with disabilities. Yes, they can. They can absolutely join. My job personally, I work as a personal support worker. I work with kids with disabilities, and actually the kiddos I work with, there are her siblings actually. But absolutely, there are accommodations that always can be made to make sure that the Scout is still successful and still learning the skills that are needed to earn the ranks. So it's all about accommodations and making sure the Scout can be successful. Scouts is a safe place to fail. That's the big thing. Scouts is a safe place to fail.
Okay, now everybody on the screen, every single one of you, when you said Scouts is a safe place to fail, every single one of you nodded your head.
So Malaya has a story.
Go ahead, Malaya.
Okay. One day when we were practicing our
Act safety.
act safety, I had I went to go cut the wood and I wasn't in the right stance or anything. I slipped and actually I cut my foot.
Cut into her foot with
Yes,
the
cut
axe.
into my foot. And so I've known that ever since then I've actually been pretty confident of, hey, even if I fail, they're going to be there for me, especially seeing as 2 of the scouts had helped me and didn't make fun of me or anything. They just helped.
Wow.
Scouts is a safe place to fail.
Yes.
One of my pack kiddos, actually her little sister, who is autistic, she did not know how to tie her shoes, like did not even know how to tie a knot. And she joined Cub Scouts and she learned how to tie the square knot. My husband actually was also the Cub leader. And within probably a month, she was able to tie her shoes. And she was so excited to tie her shoes. And that's my biggest, like, this is what Scouts is for. That Scouts is to teach you those basic skills to tie your shoes. And it might not be, Hannah might not think it's a big thing because Hannah can tie her shoes, but we all celebrate the joy because, and again, I know I've met Hannah. I haven't met the other 2, but I've met Hannah. Hannah's great. And it's a safe place to fail. We don't make fun of you for failing. We don't look at you and go, you chopped your foot off and you can never do it again. You went right back and chopped again, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Lily wants to know what's a really sentimental moment you ladies have experienced in the Scouts or venturing that will stick with you for a long time. Go ahead.
I went to Camp Milwaukee Scout Camp, and I thought it was really cool. We were taking like roll in a merit badge class, and my friend Violet, we were in, it was wood carving, and a kid, and they were taking roll, and they're like, "Where's Violet?" And one Boy Scout was like, "Who's Violet?" He didn't even think, "Oh, it's a girl's name. I don't know who it would be." He's like, and then Violet raised her hand and said, "Oh, that's me." And I thought that was pretty cool.
That's really cool. All right. So, Malaya, what's yours? What's a moment that you will never forget? Besides almost cutting off your foot.
Yep. And you laughed.
Another one is I was the only girl that was gonna go on this camp out with my troop, and because the other girls had a reason and they couldn't go, so I went with a different troop, troop 4179, and I had such a great time, and we had actually we won some awards. We had added some stuff to their little cheer thing, and we were like the top of all the stuff that had happened in that camp out.
She's being modest. They beat out all the boys in all of the games and troop spirit and patrol leader.
Yes.
They got like 4 out of the like 8 awards that were handed out that night, and it was the girl troop that did it.
Malaya, I hope you feel really bad about that. So, Malaya, I also know something. I have access to some comments here that you don't. So I heard that you received first aid from another scout, and then you went right back to using the axe again.
Yes.
Brian told on you. So,
actually, what's funny is that's the other leader. That's my husband.
Oh, well.
So yeah, he was totally there to see it. It was great.
So, okay. So person asked about sentimental moments, and as a parent, I just want to say that all of Scouting creates sentimental moments with your kids. You know, my 11-year-old right now is working on her physical fitness requirement for second class, and she's got to run a mile, and she's got to improve her time. I am not a runner. I hate running. I only run when I'm chasing a ball. But I'm going out and I'm running with her because, geez, I can do a mile. And we are having so much fun. And that's an experience that we would have never had if she didn't join Scouts. So Scouting is about creating all these opportunities for families to just have fun together.
So Mia, I think we have a mutual friend. You know Ben McKee?
I do. I saw his comment and I'm so excited. Yeah, we were in college group together way back like 20 years ago.
Well, I was the old man who taught him how to be a news reporter. So
Oh, he idolized you so much. He would always talk about you. Let me tell you.
yeah, I love Ben is one of the people I love. I do care a lot about him. You guys, so right now with the COVID thing, how are you doing your scout stuff?
We meet at the park outside every Saturday. So our normal meetings were Monday nights, but it's dark in the winter on Monday nights. So we just meet at the park on Saturdays. We wear masks and we plan activities where we don't have to touch each other. So trying to follow all the COVID guidelines, and we're having fun. My scout has got almost 2 ranks down in just the last few months.
And Savannah, you guys, when you did your rafting trip, you just did all the social distancing things you're supposed to do and all that kind of stuff, right?
And it's pretty easy because everyone has their own individual boat.
Oh, Mia, Ben's saying don't tell any secrets. Ben,
Broadcast now.
Yeah.
Let's watch out.
So Ben, the one thing you don't understand about the show is beforehand we talk about all these things, and she's already written it all down on paper. I'll be doing a special Ben McKee outing everything you wanted to know about him show.
That's right.
Coming up on Wednesdays at 4:30. No. So Lily, you have good questions. Hi, Ashley from Roseburg. So COVID, you've changed things around a little bit so you guys can make sure that everything happens right. What I think a couple of things excite me about what you guys are doing. One, I think people have the wrong idea about Scouts, and I think the clear up it's Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. They're two different things. Scouting and girls in Scouting is one thing, and Girl Scouts is another thing. I think people need to clear that up in their head. But two, it's like you guys are raising some really super cool people. I mean, you're nice people. I mean, and like Hannah, how old are you, hon?
I'm 14.
I mean, you get on there and you just blah, like you've been doing this for 100, and Malaya, all you guys, Savannah, Lucy. I mean, it's like you really are. I think it's I know it's about the fun and the adventure and the learning in it, but it's really about building good people.
So what? Say.
Yeah.
Scouts is a great program. I fully. What? You got it?
Yes.
All right.
So I went to school one day and these people were just talking, and everyone's just talking about how there should be a separation between boys and girls when it comes to Scouts and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think there should, because it gives you more of an opportunity really to learn different stuff and to actually do what you want to do. And so they're just like, well, how do you know this? And I'm like, because I'm in Scouts BSA. And it shocked them so much. And they're just like, but I don't think you should be in it, because it should be a separation. And I told them the truth. I like Boy Scouts more than I liked the Girl Scouts, and I went for a day, but I still like it more than I liked Girl Scouts.
Right, it's just a different thing. Lucy, are you reading that question?
I am. NYLT is a course that we hold every year, and it is a national youth leadership training. It's a youth-led camp that lasts an entire week, where the youth staff teach important life lessons, like finding out what your personal vision is, and goal setting, conflict resolution, and just all these like really valuable life skills that it's like you don't necessarily use this stuff just in Scouts. You take it everywhere throughout your life. This year, I am the SPL of the NYLT course.
Right.
What does that mean?
How many pages is the manual that you have to teach people?
Sorry?
How many pages is that manual that you're in charge of teaching everybody?
Goodness, it's like 2 inches thick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so youth are in charge of the entire week's training, and Lucy is in charge of all of the youth. It's a pretty big job, and it's amazing to have that opportunity.
So Amy, you're saying raising young adults, not raising kids. If that's target, if I said I don't know if I said kids, but I call everybody kids, but I'm an old man. So you just have to, I can't get used to the youth thing. So I'm still calling people kids, and I'm sorry if that's what's targeted to me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say something that was unacceptable, but I get real. I just do what I do, and it's fun.
And I saw someone wishes they could be in Scouts, like join BSA. I don't know if you were a youth.
No, Todd is,
or an adult.
He's very old.
But
he should join.
We always take volunteers for anything. Even like you want to plan an event, you want to just come hang out with us, totally get a hold of the Boy Scout office and we can hook you up.
Scott.
We're always like good people, and it's fun. Come play with us. It's a lot of fun.
Todd, they're calling you out, dude. This is awesome.
On.
So you want to be involved now? You opened your mouth. Now you get to be involved. You get to plan the next Boy Scout girls, the Scouting BSA Jamboree.
Yes.
Well, Ben and Scott are having their own conversation. Excuse us, we're just having a show here. What age can they join?
So I can answer unless Mia wants to, but I can.
Go ahead.
They can join in kindergarten, actually. In Cub Scouts, we take kindergartners. And Cub Scouts is kindergarten to 5th grade. And then at 5th grade or 10 and a half and all your ranks, you then can cross over to Boy Scouts. Or Scouts BSA. Yep, sorry. Thank you. I'm still getting used to that. I'm calling everyone Scouts, not boys. So, and I have a whole troop of girls. And then the age cap is 18. But if there are developmental, like if there are special accommodations that need to be made, that age cap can be tweaked. But like the normal cap is 18. For venturing, I think it's 21.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah. So for venturing, it's all the way up to 21. So you get to be a kid a little longer. Which is
venturing goes from 14 to 21. So it is designed.
I was going to say venturing starts at 14. That was my next. Yes.
So
yes, so the ladies are be able to become Eagle Scouts after Scouts? After Scouts.
During Scouts.
During Scouts, yes. After Scouts, I'm not. I think
that's what Joshua meant. I think that's what he meant.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are getting really good at this. And Lily had a question. Lily, I think you're trying to take my job, and I'm just about ready to pull you off here. I'm kidding you. She said, would you guys say you guys have developed really good relationship with your fellow Scouts?
Have you developed a good relationship with your fellow Scouts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you
well, they become family. They become like really close, especially our troop 4751, we only have like 4 girls currently that are active because we had one move away to Idaho. And she's doing great. She's on track to be Eagle within probably the next year, which is awesome. But yes. Oh yeah, Sea Scouts. Brian says, don't forget Sea Scouts.
What's this? What in the now? Okay, I'm just. There's so many programs. What is this? I would guess that it has something to. Hannah, can you help me here? Does it have anything to do with the beach?
I don't know much about Sea Scouts, so I honestly can't tell you.
Okay, well, why don't you just hold on because we'll ask somebody else, and you and I will learn at the same time. Okay, I trust you. Okay, so because trusting is part of being a good scout, right? And
yeah, first point of the scout walk, trustworthy.
She's awesome. Okay, explain Sea Scouts, someone.
Okay, so the Sea Scouting program is sort of exactly what it sounds like. It's boats. It's they promote citizenship through boating skills, through instruction and practice, and water safety and outdoor skills, maritime heritage. They generally have like a boat that they will go out in and learn all of the everything. Yeah, Brian, that's the best way to describe it. It's the Navy of the BSA, but they have more fun. They're way more fun than the Navy.
So Lucy, earlier you were talking and you were saying how, you're learning, and everybody's kind of been discussing this, but you guys are learning integrity. You're learning, trustworthiness. You're learning honesty, honor, all that stuff, but you're learning it through life and through like skills. So you're not like, here's how you are a trustworthy person. Instead, you're being a trustworthy person. And that's how people learn well. Because if like Malaya, you have to, you almost chop off your foot. And I know it wasn't that bad, but I'm a news guy. I have to blow it up to something. But you cut your foot, and then people came to help you. So you learn who to trust. You learn about integrity of who does, and then you go back and do it. So you learn that you don't just fall down and cry and not get back up, that in life you have to get back up and go moving. So all those are the lessons you're learning, but you're learning it in the program. Go ahead, sweetie.
Something that my friends and I like saying is you don't cry just because you fall. What you do is you get back up and try again. It's not worth crying about. It's worth trying again so that you can get better at it.
So it's okay to mess up.
Scouts is a safe place to fail.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Matt Kendall has a great explanation of Sea Scouts.
Who?
Matt Kendall, the purpose of Sea Scouts. That is a good explanation of what Sea Scouts is.
So if you guys, there's so many children right now who are really suffering with depression and struggling because they're at home all the time and they don't have a lot of relationships. They're not being able to get out. I hear this from parents every single day, is how their kids, they just don't know how much longer they can do this. This seems like a really great, you would be adopting a family. And you know what I mean? It seems like, and learning how to cope with these things, not by here, we're going to have a lesson on how to deal with depression, but we're going to have a lesson on how to deal with life. Go ahead, Lucy. You look like you're going to fly off your seat. You're ready to answer this.
Yeah. So I think this goes back to the question that Lily had asked about, like, how scouting has really helped us, like, build relationships and, like, friendships with people. When I first moved to Oregon, I ended up going to a scout meeting as, like, if I have to. My dad dragged me to it. But being able to go there and see that there were all these young women who were really excited about the same sort of things I was excited about, I was able to build some of, like, the strongest friendships I think I've ever had. And Lily is one of those people. She's like my twin soul or whatever.
And she's in your group with you?
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question? So when you bring that up, you are obviously a little bit teary, and why does that make you?
I think it's because, like, when I moved here, I was not the most confident person at all. Like, it's hard to, like, make those connections with people, but scouting allows you to do that, and it allows you to meet those like-minded people and really just grow as a more confident person.
Do you think sometimes in life, Lucy, that it's really hard to meet, I think girls to girls, boys to boys, to meet people that you really click with like that, because there's so much facade in the world with people. They have to put on these images, like all the girls are doing this and all the boys are doing this. And as scouts, you just you need each other. So you gotta cut through the crap.
Right.
We all wear the same khaki. Or green. Adventurers are green, but we all wear the same khaki or green. We're all, equal under the whatever. We're there to help each other and learn and be better people.
So Savannah, you've been a little quiet because I haven't been going to you, but that doesn't mean anything. But what would you say to wrap this up? What would you like to say?
I know that school has helped me personally a lot, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for Lucy and both Lily here as well, that crew is like a growing experience for everyone. You make connections, and you also, like, learn how to help others and how to safely do so many different activities together and work as a team. You're working together constantly while also still being in charge of yourself.
So Hannah, why is it important to help each other?
So you can, like, learn together on what you're doing, and so you feel more included in what you're doing, and yeah.
When you belong to something, what does that feel like?
That you are important and you actually mean something, and that other people are feel the same way about that one thing.
Honey, you're a gold mine. You are just, that's a compliment, hon. Because don't you think we all feel like sometimes we're misunderstood and we don't belong?
Yeah.
Everybody, don't we all kind of feel like that? And especially right now with COVID, it makes us feel like while everybody's hiding, we're having to hide behind a mask, which is not a mask or not an anti-mask or anything like that thing. But it's like we just need relationship. We need human interaction. And you guys are look at Lucy. Yeah, you guys are getting that. And so if there's parents out there or people and your kids are struggling, why don't you give the number a call and find out more about what's going on here? Because here's something where, they're moving with the times. They're changing. Life is about change. We all have to change. COVID's taught us that, hasn't it? We all have to be open to change. But what we all also need is each other. We need to rub elbows, even if it's like this. We need a way to connect with people and people that care about our kids and care about each other. And this was super fun. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, this was awesome.
Did anybody else want one more thing they need to say? You don't have to. I
can give that phone number out to the Boy Scout office if people want.
Somebody put it. You know what, Scott? Would you just put it in there again?
It was like somebody typed it, but I can say it in words.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm going to put this on my podcast too, so people will find out more about it.
So it is 541-485-4433. And the Scout office is on Martin Luther King Boulevard. It's right across the street from the stadium, from Autzen Stadium.
Yeah.
It's like a little wood cabin. If you've ever passed on Martin Luther King, it looks like a wood cabin.
It's a beautiful structure. Yeah, beautiful building. So you guys, thank you for doing that and taking your time to come on and talk with us. We want to thank John Anderson from Togo's and the truck stop in Coburg. He sponsors this show for the Boy Scouts, and we're going to do one a month for we're probably just going to go on forever because everybody likes this stuff. And I appreciate. I think you guys have given great. You've given the female gender a boost today, And as a dude, I'm like going, yeah. That's what I like. I like strong women, and you guys are doing your thing. So you guys, thanks again for taking your time to be here. Okay.
Thank you so much, Rick. This was awesome.
You're welcome, guys. I'm going to pull you out of here and do a little closing thing here as I remove this thing. Okay. So how was that? I got the best job in the world. So you guys, seriously though, really, where the rubber hits the road, if your kids are struggling and they're having a hard time, and there's a lot of kids doing that. It's not your fault. This is what's going on. We are all living in really, really, really hard times. And our kids are struggling. But don't just let them struggle. And it's not something you have to take care of, but you can make a phone call and find out more about what they're doing and see if scouting would be appropriate for you, your boys or your girls. And something for them to feel connected with something different, because we all need connection right now. And it's so important. And I think these women have shown you that, this is not an organization that's just about boys. This is an organization that's about boys, girls, and everybody in between. And I loved her bringing up people with different abilities. Because we need to have our folks with it. They used to call them people with disabilities. There's no such thing. These are people with different abilities, and they can be scouts just as well as anybody else. So this is how it works. This is your community. And remember, to be part of a community is an action word. So you have to do something. And here's something you can do for your family and your kids that would be really appropriate. The other thing you can do for us is if you would share this on your page, even if you're a Scout member or somebody else, if you could share this on your page, then somebody might be, what if this is how the world works now? I am telling you, I could do a show on this. The number of contacts I've made just by accidentally somebody seeing something we did, they're perusing their Facebook page or their Instagram page or YouTube, and all of a sudden a video pops up and they're going, wait, I need to get my kids some help. You could be the answer for somebody by just posting this on your page and letting them see it. And that's how it works. All right, tomorrow night, Chris Dental, Family Dentistry, is sponsoring our Back the Blues show. And we're going to talk to Jen Bills, an old friend of mine. She's a retired police officer. And we're going to talk about, excuse me, my train's coming. We're going to talk about the difficulty of being a police officer in the current culture. But we're also going to talk about some of the issues that need to be resolved in police departments. And Jen is like forthright. She's tough. She was probably a Scout. She's awesome. And then on Friday, we're going to continue our series on Black History Month. I have 2 Black men coming in. I've just met them on the street the other day. I know one of them, but the other one I just met on the street. I invited him to come on, and we're going to talk about Black issues and white issues and how we can have discussions. And we're going to keep that conversation going so that we can not bow down and back down from something very important. We all need to be talking and understand one another. So that's coming up on Friday at 5. All right. I'm going to go home and see my wife after I share this. Thank you, Boy Scouts of America, or the Scouts BSA. We all are getting used to that. Have a